Guys, it's Task Force Gaming. ARMA REFORGER experimental build is now live on Steam. You can also enjoy new servers created exclusively for experimental builds. So let's jump into all the information and yeah, get some information laid out for you. So starting from the top, ARMA REFORGER experimental. Okay, so we have a bit of a statement, and then we got what it's going to be. Then we've got some caution, got some usage, reports, and that's it. So not a very big video today. Let's dive in from the top. We know that many of you have been waiting for the next ARMA. That light is bright. The next ARMA REFORGER update, as well with all the development plans change. We aim to adapt accordingly, depending on the goals of our internal team and desires of the community. So we have been waiting a long time for the major update, guys. So we're still clinging on, but we'd rather be a good one than a broken one. So that's why we want to be as open and upfront about our current plans as possible and shed some light on where we are in the process. If you read our latest dev report, which I've done, hopefully I'll remember, if not, it's on the channel, to put in the description. So click that. We've gone through the whole of the latest dev report, which is still over a week ago, I think, from now. So we've still had a lot of information. So you know that we've been actively preparing for the first major update, 0.9.6, and we spoke about that in the dev report. As well as our first release candidate build, many were understandably disappointed in our change from the original bi-weekly timetable. So every week, we got an update one week, and then we got a dev report the next week, which spoke about future updates, plans, and all that things. So we was well informed, but now it seems to be taking a while. But we did so in order to focus our efforts on improving quality. So every 2 weeks we're supposed to get an update, but obviously given the next update is a major update, we've got to wait a little extra longer. So providing a quality update the players would enjoy. While we can't promise our exact release schedule moving into the future, we finally ready to release to the public 0.9.6 experimental build. So right now you can test or play the next big update, the major update. You can find all the detailed changes in the changelog. So I'll link this below, and then you can go through all of there. So assets, tweaked, game master, conflict, player management, UI, topographic maps, networks, game, look at all this stuff that they've added on there, what they've changed, what they've tweaked, what they've fixed, AI, and I'm still blooming going. I'm not doing a video on this, it would take all of my life. Mod manager, known issues. So this link will be in the description, guys, so feel free to go down there and check all that out. So the ARMA REFORGER experimental separate Steam client application that maintains a build of experimental content and features for owners of ARMA REFORGER. Ahead of the main application updates, we prepare the build on this separate public application for testing. This testing period may vary, but the goals are as follows. So if we scroll down to the bottom, I've already done this for you. Okay, so usage, these bits here. If I pop over to Steam, we are actually currently downloading the ARMA REFORGER experimental now. So if you go into the library, right, you've got ARMA REFORGER, the main game, and then underneath it, in your library where all your games are, the experimental. So it's 7.51 gigabytes there, and then you'll be able to play the new content. This is PC only. Let's dive into the more details on that. So, to allow frequent and flexible updates to test our work publicly. To discover potential issues in the varied player base and receive early feedback. This is complementary to our in-house testings by the various QA teams. So basically on the experimental, you get a test stuff early. If they add a gun, they're going to put it onto this experimental version for you to test. So you can pick up this gun, use it, play with it in experimental. But just in case you pick up this gun and it sends you to space or turns you inside out or explodes or whatever, that's why it's going into experimental. It's going to help for a mass feedback rather than 10 people testing something, not finding all the problems and releasing a bad update. So to validate ideas, try out concepts, experiments with technology or content and gather player feedback on it all. So you'll be able to personally tell them like, whoa, this is broke. Like, to allow mod teams and other custom content creators to prepare for changes and adapt their work if necessary. You might have noticed a change in its name, its contrast to the original release candidate proposal. However, we believe this terminology helps everyone to better understand its purpose and intended goals for the title. Another benefit of two separate Steam applications, there are no need to switch between branches. That would normally involve re-downloading data. Its primary purpose is to allow users an advanced look at features in which to test. Your feedback is vastly important to these builds, and as always, we appreciate your assistance. But caution, the experimental build may still contain issues that we look to address during the testing period. Features and content are still considered provisional and not guaranteed to be added or adjusted for the main release build. Experimental is only available to Steam clients and thus not cross-play compatible. Multiplayer is not compatible with other users' Experimental, however, we cannot guarantee that experience or issues may face while using it. So, won't be able to do it on Xbox, you won't be able to have access to Experimental, it's on PC, on Steam only. When you're playing an Experimental server, you will only be playing with people on Experimental servers. There's no Experimental to Xbox or Experimental to Experimental to normal. So Experimental to Experimental, normal to normal, normal to Xbox, blah, 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 like that. Mods or other custom content may not be compatible with Experimental. Frequent updates may occur until the full release, so consider your bandwidth. This build is not 100% representative of a final main release build. Usage. So, yeah, there you go, guys. So feel free to pause this or whatever and drag your Steam over. Like I said, we've already done it. It will just appear under ARMA REFORGER there in your main library of games. And then 7.51 gigabytes is installing, and you'll load that up and you'll get access to the latest build. Reports. The best place to report issues is our feedback tracker. So again, go into the description of this video, find this link, scroll to the bottom, and you'll be able to do that. Please mark your exact version number and usage of the experimental build clearly. Please also try and replicate the issue in an unmodded build. Please prioritize reports on issue new to experimental build, not represent the main build, release build. The experimental build can also be discussed in the forum's discussion thread. Thank you kindly for your help while making ARMA REFORGER a better game. Published about 8 minutes ago. So guys, there you go. ARMA REFORGER Experimental is coming to Steam. You can play it, you can test it, you can help make ARMA a better place. And then when we get to ARMA 4, hopefully everything is just rocking out of the box, man. So it's going to be so sick. Please consider subscribing as well, guys, if you're enjoying the videos. We are covering everything ARMA, and we are going into ARMA 4 with a bang. I'll be doing loads of playthroughs and things like that. So, and also it helps me now on the experimental, because after I've read an update, I could go play it, I can test out the stuff and, you know, do videos for you guys. So yeah, please consider subscribing, because only 15% or something is subscribed right now. Like the video if you liked it. Let's get it out there. And apart from that, guys, any comments, thoughts, feelings, opinions, put it all down in below, and I will quite happily chat to you about ARMA or anything. And I'll catch you next video, guys. So thanks for watching. Take it easy. Peace.